I joined the public speaking club at my school, and it was a brand new club. And the president announces that there's going to be elections for vice president, and I decided to sign up, and I'm feeling good, right? And then what ends up happening is that apparently no one else ran, so I instantly get the position. So I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. But then a day later, the president comes and tells me, actually someone else wants to run, so now you gotta like write a speech and everything, right? And then at this point, I think about it, and then I just end up changing my mind about running. And I tell the president, like, I don't want to run anymore. And she's like, well, that's fine. But then she asked me, why? Why don't you want to run? And I'm sitting there staring at that message like that she sent. Why'd you change your mind? And I realized the reason why I didn't want to run was for fear of failure. The idea that I would go up there, do my speech, and then the other person would come up and do their speech, and then they would win, and then I would lose. And then I realized, like, it's such like a dumb reason to not run, because the whole point is to, like, to just try. You try to run, you do your best, and then people vote for you or they don't. You know what I mean? But what matters most is that you try. And for me to say that I'm not going to try because I'm scared of losing, of failing, is rejecting the possibility that I could win. You know what I mean? Because there's a chance that I win, there's a chance that I lose, right? So I realize, like, I'm being dumb. I realize I'm making a mistake, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like, there really is no reason for me not to run. So I'm gonna run. And I go, and it's the day of, and I have not written my speech yet for running. And then I go online, I Google how to run for class president, and I just like do it. I just like write exactly like what the outline says. They say, like, to write your speech, you start with how this club has helped you, how it has made an impact on you, why the club's important to you, and then say why this club is important to other people, you know what I mean? And how it can help people, right? And then talk about, what you will do in that position and what you see for the future of the club. So I just did exactly what this random Google article told me to do. I talked about this club, public speaking, how I went there and I was scared to present, but I went up there and I presented, and I felt really good about myself, and I felt like I grew as a person. And I said that that's a beautiful thing, and I wish that this club could grow so that many more people could have that same experience, right? And then I talked about the community that the club has given me, right? And I started like naming people around the room because I always see them wherever I go. So it's kind of crazy. I went into this little club, right? And there's like 10, 20 people in there. But wherever I go, whether I'm at the dining halls or I'm leaving my dorm room, or if I'm going to a party, like, I'm always seeing everyone there. So I say, like, as well, like, we're also kind of a community, and I think that's awesome as well. And then I was like, I see for the future of this club, I can see us like performing in like a whole auditorium, and I think that would be so awesome and a good place to work towards. So yeah, I did that speech, and then it was, it was pretty good. And then the next presenter went up, and in my personal opinion, bro, I think my speech was better, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because I think what she did, I think she focused too much on herself and like kind of hyping herself up and explaining why she was good, right, or a good candidate for the position, right? But what I did instead is I was talking about how cool the club is, and I was saying, like, yo, this club is so awesome. I was like, it helped me grow so much and built my confidence, and I was like, I wish this club could help more people, you know what I mean? And then I was like, and I'm so glad to like meet everyone here. So I was kind of like I was coming from a place of gratitude, and I think that kind of helps. And I don't know why it helps. Like it just makes sense in my head, versus I think what she was doing. She was like explaining how good of a leader she was, and how she also was she's like good friends with the president. So that's another reason why I was kind of scared to run, because I was like, well, she's already friends with the president of the club, so like that's probably gonna make it easier for her, or they will work together better, right? And that would kind of like hold me back. But I think I guess people just like my speech more, and I guess I'm pretty sure like that speech uses some kind of like how to win friends and influence people, because like there's this thing like where you don't talk about yourself, you let the other person talk about themselves. I mean, I'm the one talking here. The audience is not talking to me, but I'm like kind of like gassing up the audience, like, yo, this club is so awesome, you know, you guys are so awesome. That's kind of what I was doing, and then that's kind of how I got the position, right? But anyways, the main thing that I wanted to focus on was fear of failure, because I did end up winning the position, and I'm now the vice president. And if the president had never asked me why did you change your mind about running, and I didn't realize I had a fear of failure, if I let that fear of failure overcome me, I would never have this opportunity, and I would never have became president. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how to overcome your fear of failure. And the first thing to do is to accept that you're gonna fail. The thing is, like, with fear of failure, it's like we want to figure out ways to not fail, to avoid failure. But at the end of the day, with a lot of things in life, you're just gonna be bad at it for like the first couple of times, first hundreds of times, first thousands of times, and you're gonna fail over and over again. And a really good example of this is, I remember my little cousin, he wanted to play Minecraft, right? And I gave him the controller, and he didn't even know what to do, right? He was like if you know this, if you have like a little cousin, you try to give him the controller, and he just couldn't like move. He didn't know how to look around in the game, so he was only like moving in one direction. You know what I mean? He was moving forward and left and right. He wasn't looking around. He was just going like this, and then he fell in a hole, and he didn't know how to jump, and then so he was just like, and then a zombie came up to him and then killed him, and he was like, ah! And he got upset, and he stopped wanting to play, right? But it's like, now, like a couple of years later, he's been playing games for like a long time. Like he got more used to it, right? And now he's able to just operate the game as normal. And I'm still better at him at the game. I can still kill him very easily in Minecraft, but you know, at first you're gonna suck at stuff. You know what I mean? So you have to accept, like, you're gonna be bad. You're gonna fail. You know what I mean? And that's just something that you gotta accept. And another way to think about it is like a baby when it's first learning to walk. You know what I mean? You know, it's gonna keep falling, keep tripping, right? And you just gotta keep crawling and then get back up and keep trying. That's just how life works. Now the second way to overcome your fear of failure is to not care about the outcome and instead focus on the growth, right? So when we set out on a pursuit, we want the outcome. If we're talking to a girl, we want to get her number. If we're going to the gym, like we want to like increase our numbers or gain muscle, right? But when you focus too much on the outcome and you don't get it, like, that can be demotivating. And when it comes to taking a risk and you want the outcome and you focus too much on the outcome, you're gonna be scared to fail, right? Like if it's a girl, that's an easy example, and you want to get her number, but you're scared of rejection, right? Because you're too focused on the outcome. But instead, if you focus on the growth, if you focus on, I'm gonna try to talk to this girl, I'm gonna build my courage, you know what I mean, and become more confident, and I would just try and see what she says. And if you don't care about the outcome, whether she says yes or no, then it's gonna be a better interaction, because you're not gonna be all kind of like worried about it. It's kind of weird, because like when you don't focus on something, like, you can actually get it easier, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's probably the best example for that. And in this case, with the public speaking, right? I remember when I was writing my speech, I was still thinking like that the candidate was better than me, and she was gonna win, right? But then instead of just focusing too much on that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just try. I'm gonna do my best, you know what I mean? And I'll see what people say, and it doesn't matter to me whether I win or lose. All I know is that I put my best foot forward. I tried. I showed up, and even if I lose, like, I get public speaking experience, and that's what I really wanted in the first place. That's why I joined the club, to get better at public speaking. So whether I do good or bad, whether I win or lose, I'm still getting that experience, and that's what really matters, right? And the final way to overcome the fear of failure is to simply fail more and realize that it's not the end of the world when you fail. And a good analogy for this is rejection. You know, like getting rejected by a girl or something like that. Like the more time, like the first time you muster up a courage to talk to a girl, it's like very scary, right? And it probably hurts a lot, right, when you get rejected. But like the next times after that and the next times after that, you know, it's still a bit scary, right? But it's a little bit less scary, and it hurts less, you know what I mean? You just get more and more accustomed to it. Because what you realize when you go and you fail, you realize that life still goes on. You know what I mean? You realize that you're fine, like, even though this kind of sucks, or like you get a bad grade on a test, even though this kind of sucks, it's like your life still goes on and you're still fine. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to just go out there and take the L, because taking the L is literally a part of the process. It's a part of the journey. And if you ever want to be a winner, you have to lose. Like that's the thing. That's one thing that people kind of don't understand, is that like winners lose a lot, and losers, they never lose because they don't try. They don't try to step out their comfort zone. They always do things that are comfortable, right? So they're always winning, right? Or winning in the areas that they are comfortable in. But if you actually want to build a life for yourself and become something new, build something, you need to get out of your comfort zone, and you need to fail, and you need to learn. And only then you can win. So yeah. Yeah.